This is another episode of the Warrior Poet Show. Cue the music.
We come in peace, the warrior poet show.
Here with the warrior poet, spitting out the facts, artillery loaded, perfecting our craft, yeah you know we devoted. I know what I want, so I'm staying focused. You hitting up my line, it's on do not disturb. Don't need a fool who can't even back up his words. How to burn bridges and take different roads. You might think I'm toxic, but homie, I got goals.
Welcome, everybody, back to another wonderful, exciting episode of this podcast. This is your host, the Lizard King. Lizard King because I can do anything. Anything's possible, guys. Anything that you put your mind to, anything that you truly put your faith into should come to pass in this reality. It's a metaphysical way of looking at things, right? Because you think, okay, I gotta clock in, save my little coins, put it in the bank, and then hopefully someday I'm gonna find success. I don't know, guys. I think the status quo is good and all if that's what you're trying to do, which is what? Finish college, get married, get a mortgage, have children, pay for their college, and then die. Very exciting, guys. Very exciting. Who am I to judge? I think everybody has their own path, and I'm not here to infringe on you family guys, on you family women who are ultimately in embedded, really. I think that's the best word to use. You guys are embedded in society to the point that you guys have to do exactly what the neighbor does, exactly what your sister does, exactly what your father does. Monkey see, monkey do. And I've never been a fan of that, personally. In fact, if I want to do, or even better example, let's say there's this new artist, a musical artist, rapper, rock star, doesn't matter, and they're making waves. But I knew them before they were making waves. I liked them when they were just underground musicians. So what tends to happen with me when things turn mainstream or popular, I right away turn off from being a fan or being a part of the cult, because if I am going a certain path and then everyone starts going that path, um, I'm sorry, guys, but I am certainly not gonna keep going in that path, because I like individuality. I like being considered weird, because that's basically all I get lately. I'm a weirdo. I'm crazy. I don't uh, I don't think for myself. I allow drugs and alcohol and Satan himself to move me. I've heard it all, guys, and quite frankly, it's all baffling to me, because this is coming from people who are literally of the devil. You know, I don't drink. I don't really do drugs. I say that with a grain of salt, of course, because what is a drug? I consume about a pot of coffee a day, which is like at least 5 cups. This is already my third, and I'm still not fully realized, fully awake. So allow me to do a sipperoo for good luck. Alrighty, guys. So let's go ahead and get the show moving. I'm trying new ways of setting up the show. I think the light show is awesome. So we're gonna go with this position now from now on. Um, oh, you know what I just realized? We need to talk about something very, very important. The Tate brothers just got arrested yesterday or the day before. 2 days ago, though, I think. man, the government officials, the the people representing the Matrix are attacking the Tate brothers for something very, very, very simple, which is awakening consciousness on young men. I think when you look at our fathers, and I'll tread lightly here because I've come to realize that I'm not supposed to talk about other people's parents, but just know that your parents are my parents. That's why society is the way it is. Your fathers are beta males. Your fathers are weak. Your fathers are yes men. Your fathers are, okay, babe, I'll throw out the trash. Okay, babe, I'll clean out the gutters. Okay, babe, I'll wash the dishes. Yeah, those little weasels turned us into even bigger weasels and worms, and we're crawling on the floor trying to get a woman's attention when in reality we should be standing upright. We should be rising to the occasion, and we should be going not to their war, but we should be fighting our war, which is a masculinity issue. Okay, so when you look at masculinity, when you look at the man, the average Joe, what do you see? I see beer bellies most of the time. So you guys are drinking. I mean, granted, I would even argue that once a weekend is too much, but I feel like some of y'all don't get there by just going once a week to your debauchery. You guys are drinking constantly. You guys are not training, meaning you guys are not doing your push-ups, whatever. I don't believe everyone's cut out to be a warrior. I don't believe everybody's cut out to fight. I think there's genuinely that genetic thing inside of you that makes you want to go out for blood, and the opposite is true. Vice versa. There's this genetic thing in your DNA that makes you a bitch. You don't want to go out there. You don't want to fight. You don't want to get your hands dirty. God forbid you get a little boo boo, right? So I'm not talking to you guys. It's clear that you guys should be in IT. It's clear that you guys should be more or less away from the ring, away from me, because because I will hurt you just for the fuck of it. Just to see who you are. I will press buttons. I will step on your toes to see what kind of man you are. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm gonna end up friendless if I continue this, or maybe not. I'm just separating the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. I am finding out one thing very critical also. Uh, Forget about the diet, because I my diet is consists of potato chips, pizza, uh, milkshakes with a whole bunch of bananas. Bananas are sugar bombs essentially. So uh, I'm not really being healthy there. But the reason I get to eat what I want is because I train like an animal. I mean, and I think that the reality of life is that if you treat the body with the most disdain, you just beat it to the pulp, meaning you train. You go to the gym, you go to your boxing, jiu-jitsu classes. You let's say you are not a warrior, so you can do calisthenics, you can do CrossFit, okay, you can do bodybuilding, even gayer, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of other options other than being a alpha male. And I've already touched base on the alpha male concept. You either are or you aren't a man. So I feel like this alpha, beta male, sigma, whatever you want to call it, these are just sub labels to allow you lowly worm, you weaklings, to sleep at night thinking, yeah, I have a dick and balls. I am a man. I'm a sigma. That's why I'm by myself. Or I'm a beta male, but I'll be an alpha someday. Or you're just straight up delusional, knowing damn well that you are in the back of the line for a reason, but you're over here screaming, I am an alpha male. I am an alpha male. I am strong. I am mighty and savage. That character right there is my favorite because that is the most insecure, weak, and delusional kinds of man. Those individuals who are puffing their chest out and saying I'm this, I'm that. Believe me, guys, they're crying themselves to sleep at night. And when push comes to shove, they ain't the roaring lions that they say they are. They're more or less pussycats. Pussycats. And I just love it. I just love seeing them their hard shell melt away in the face of adversity because that's when you know a man. I mean, I can talk a big game right now, but put me in the fire. Will I melt like a snowflake or will I rise to the occasion? I rise to the occasion. That's why I'm called demonic. That's why I'm called a demon, a monster, because you guys see me coming out of the fire, rage filled, powerful, angry. I'm pissed off right now. I'm fucking pissed off. I'm not even gonna lie. So you guys see that my weak and thin disposition and think I could take them on, but it only takes less than a 0.5 seconds to realize that you're not messing with an ordinary man. And I'm not gonna put myself in that category where I have to toot my own horn to make myself feel better. I know what I am and I know what I stand for. And I stand for something because I'm willing to fight for it. You say you guys stand, but at the moment that it's time to get cracking and lacking, you guys straight up lacking. Meaning you guys stand up for what you believe in, but when it's time to fight, you guys sit your ass back down like a little boy. Like a little girl, actually. A scared little girl. A female. So, I want to enlighten you guys to reverse this little boy, this scared little boy's mentality and go through this ritualistic process. It's an alchemical process, spiritually speaking, where you transform the energies of a boy. This feminine nature, really. I'm being very, very kind to you guys by calling you little boys, but it's femininity. It's gay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how to invert the polarities to really, really be a man. I mean, you can be a dandy all you want and say, oh, woe is me, I'm delicate, blah, 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 and I still get whatever kind of women. There's women that have their poles shifted as well. That's why they're into a feminine man with the rose on his lapel and that little catwalk. My hips don't lie kind of vibe. Fuck that. You know, I'm disgusted by you guys, you know. I was blessed with having eyebrows on fleek, you know. But I will say this, even if I didn't have nice eyebrows, I would not go out of my way to get my eyebrows done. No way. That's a homosexuality, blatant homosexuality. Getting your manicure, getting your feet rubbed on, like what are you? You know? Let the comfort, let the luxury, let the pampering go to the women and the children. You are a man. You need to stand up. You need to do your push-ups. You need to get on the fire. You need to forge yourself into a mighty sword that cuts through the ether and you bend the universe to your will. Doesn't that sound better than going with the girl and getting, she's getting her manicure, you're getting your pedicure? Like, what? What? I'll be honest with you guys. I had an ex-girlfriend and she was all about all that stuff. Like she took care of herself like there was no tomorrow. And I love that about women. I really do. Women that get the manicures, get the pedicures. Although I will say this. Side note. Women, if you get the pedicure, just have them use nail polish. Do not put acrylics on your toes. You look like they look like claws. You guys look like monsters, like freaking creatures of the night. I don't like that. I don't like the long toenails. I like clipped, and I don't even want to go there because because you guys are gonna call foot fetish right away. But I do appreciate a woman who does all of that because it tells me that hey, she for sure washes her coochie. You know, I mean I'm being honest. You know, that is the bottom line here. Cleanliness is godliness. But there's some women that think they're goddesses and they're disgusting, man. But we're not gonna talk about women. Why talk about women, guys? You know, like, do you got do you guys not have anything better to think about or talk about? You know, I have seldom heard somebody say, "Hey, man, like, did I tell you about this new business deal I did? Did I tell you about this new real estate property that I'm trying to acquire?" No, it's always like, "Hey, look at this new bitch I just fucked. Hey, look at did I show you a picture of her?" Like you guys think you guys are all that because you guys are putting tallies on the board. You guys are only degrading women and yourselves by doing that shit. You guys are only making yourselves weaker on top of that. And what am I advocating for if not strength? What am I advocating for if not discipline and discernment, right? Because I'm not saying stay away from women. I'm not a black pillar, and I'm certainly not a red pillar because you have the fresh and fit guys over there making a whole bunch of fools of themselves. So I don't even want to be associated with that. Although this red shirt really does look nice on me, doesn't it? I look sexy. I feel sexy, you know, and the way you do this is not by getting other people's validation or having them call you, you know, because at that point you're already as insecure as it can be, you know. You're depending on others' opinion to reinforce what you think about yourself. No, I don't think nothing about myself. I know that deep down within this body, as wretched as it can be, as sin-filled as it can be, all the scars, all the nastiness that I embody, I know that deep down I am beautiful. I know that deep down what I have is something sexy. I mean, it's sensual, it's captivating, it's enigmatic, you know. So I don't need you guys to tell me nothing. You know, I know who I am. I know what I stand for because I will fight for it. You say that I'm not sexy? Let's fucking fight for it then. Let's box. And believe me, you could break my nose, I'm still gonna be sexy. But also, beware. You break my nose, I'm ripping your head off. Okay? Some some asshole back in the day, not back in the day, but a few years back, we were doing, and this is why I don't do MMA anymore. To be honest with you guys, one because Dana White is a tyrant. I love Dana White. He's amazing, but I wouldn't want to be working for him. We can work together someday. I'll get in the octagon for sure. I've been training mixed martial arts for a reason. I do want to end my career, my fight career in the UFC, but ooh, maybe I'm speaking a little bit too far ahead, but I'm not gonna do it if it's gonna be like Conor McGregor, where he thinks he's king of the world, but he still has to answer to Dana White. I don't have any boss. The only bosses I have is very simple. My coach, he's the boss man, and Christ, he's my father, my king. Simple as that. You guys have zero authority over my life, over what I want, over what I believe in. So I'm not going to be signing contracts to sell my soul to you, you fellow man. No disrespect. I am sure Dana White has great ways of incentivizing his fighters. But what I want is freedom. What I want is control. What I want is to be unequivocally called a monarch, a king. And a king answers to nobody. I want to have my own fight promotion. I want to have my own gym. I want to train. I want to bring up fighters. I want my team to be filled with sharks, with killers. And so that's why I'm just like chopping away at people's insecurities and weaknesses so they can get the hell out of my life, honestly, because I don't need you weaklings. I don't need your pettiness. I don't need your debauchery and your degeneracy. You guys are sinners. And I'm not saying that I am not, but I definitely fight my way out of hellish holes. We've established the mental plane is where we fight for our lives. Not out here. I mean, you can send me to war and I'll die, whatever, you know. Maybe not, because I'm mighty. But let's say I do die. My body will be cast out to the worms and the maggots, but my spirit will remain. So where does it go? Well, thanks to my Father in heaven, I'm gonna go with Him, and I will have eternal life. I have professed and I have confessed that Christ is Lord of Lords. So, um, all I have to do is just stay out of the fire. Not the fire, because the fire, in the way I explain it, is the forge. It's what makes this body, this piece of metal, into a mighty sword. You know, it melts me away and it casts me into a weapon of mass destruction. You know, that's what I'm feeling. You know, I'm growing up to be a very, very formidable man in every dimension of the word man, because I am well read and educated. I am well trained and dangerous. So I mean, no matter where you want to take the fight, I will either choke you out or knock you out. Period. You know, and then I am romantic. You know, I have a big heart, and I'm tapping into that energy too. Um, I am very vibrant. I'm full of vigor, you know. So this is kind of the gift I want to bestow onto my fellow brothers and sisters, you know, but specifically the man, you know, because again, we are the ones who are pioneering the next generation and generations to come, and we're the ones that sustain what's going on right here. So please, guys, heed my warning. Pornography is evil. Pornography is the black mirror that allows you to look into the demonic. And you think you're falling asleep just fine, you know, but I say this very, very sternly. You do a little drive by, you get your little bit of pleasure from pornography. Best believe you just allowed a whole plethora of evil spirits to come into your domain, meaning your head, your spirit, your body. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds a whole lot of like assault, like a violation. And it does certainly feel like you're being violated. I will say this, you know, once you get a taste of both light and darkness, you're like, wow. No wonder they say night and day. The difference is very clear, you know. And so, yeah, I got tempted last night, as many nights I've been tempted since I've allowed the Holy Spirit to make its home in my body. And wow, even in the darkest of dark, I'm still illumined. But that wouldn't look, guys. Clearly, I'm saying something real here, because I will say this: if I would have succumbed to the temptation, two things would have happened, or would have not happened. This podcast and the rest of my life. And what do I mean by that? Very clearly, you know, the first one is just I got demoralized. I don't have juice in the gas tank. I don't have that. Ugh. So I'm not gonna do a podcast. You need testosterone to get out there. You know, you need testosterone to turn on the camera and speak with conviction like I do. Simple as that. You know, if you don't have the testes, you don't have the voice. You don't have the conviction to stand up and fight. You essentially castrate yourself. That's what they're doing. They're castrating you. They're castrating you. with these technologies, but it's not they. If you really are a man, you're gonna stop putting the blame on the porno stars, or on the Jews who run these companies. You're gonna put the blame on the same person you look into the mirror, which is you. You're the one doing this all to yourself. You're the one that's essentially masochistic in a sexual manner, and it's disgusting. You're disgusting. You're disgusted by yourself. So come on, man. Don't argue with me. Don't rationalize this with me. There is no there is no excuse. If you're by yourself, it's for a reason. If you're alone and lonely and need some warmth to go to bed, you're no man. You are no man. I don't need a woman next to me to sleep just fine. I sleep just fine by myself. And it doesn't even have to be a bed. I can sleep on the top of a mountain in the middle of a thunderstorm. I might be weeping a little bit because that might be a little bit harsh on the body, but good for the spirit. Anything that's anything that's pleasurable and gets you away from God is inherently evil, guys. And anything that's difficult and hard on the body but gets you closer to God is inherently good. I mean, I don't know how much more clear I can make it. Um, but yes, guys, I had my mental battle with the devil, and I couldn't necessarily shake off all the plethora of images that was flooding my mind. So what I did is I invoked my Father in heaven, and He cleansed everything and removed everything that was of evil intent within me, and shoved it to the ethers, to the darkest of abysses. Deepest, darkest abyss is where these creatures roam and hell out of. So what are you doing inviting them over to your path? What are you doing inviting them over to your temple? You don't even know. You don't even know what's going on. But I'm here to tell you. I'm here to explain. I'm here to enlighten, guys. I'm not selfish per se. I do want most of you guys to stay docile, to stay weak, to stay malleable. Because I kind of like the fact that there's no competition. I kind of like the fact that my path is difficult, which, by the way, that's why I chose this path, the path of the warrior, because I knew that very few people would be following with me. So there's no way you can make this mainstream without realizing that you have to sweat, bleed, and cry a little, if not a lot. So I am walking this path on my own. But once I get what I want, what next? Well, I'm going for a kingdom. I'm going for monarch status. I'm going for a crown now. So I need my subjects to not be busting my balls. I need my subjects to not be stepping on my toes. Hey, if you're getting offended by this, then use it as fuel. Use it as an excuse to stop being a little bitch and get out of your bed, stop jerking off, and then try to compete against me for kingship. The world is going through a lot of changes. And in calamity and chaos, there's a whole lot of opportunity. Granted, I would I would I would like for things to stay peaceful. I would like for things to stay amicable, but war is upon us, and if you're not getting prepared, I'm running over you unequivocally. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your creed is. I don't care if your father is my father in heaven. If you are a weakling, I will step over you. Understand that. It's not that I'm merciless. I do have empathy. I do have a soul. I do have a heart. It's just I don't have time for your bullshit. I don't have time for your weakness. I'll just swat you away like the fly, like the piece of garbage that you are, an insect, and I'll go ahead and carve my own path up the mountain. And once I reach the mountain, best believe I'm going to be looking for my next Everest. And only then do I deserve a woman. And only then do I deserve to be not only king, but a faithful husband, a happy father, a leader, a teacher, a shepherd for my people. But until then, it's all war for me. And it's not going to stop being war until then. It's not over till it's over, guys. One step at a time, one foot in front of the other, for sure. I am not going to be cutting corners, guys. And if you guys are cutting corners, you guys are thinking that you guys slack off a little bit, you got a next thing. You got a rude awakening coming to you. I'm coming in hot and heavy. Because these are wins for me. You don't think I felt a little bit inadequate having these lustful intentions in my heart? I hate myself for being such a degenerate, for being so disgusting, But I defeat myself. I'm not competing against you, unfortunately. It's just you're in the way. But my only enemy, my only competition, my only adversary has always been this guy, me. So understand that is why I'm able to make quantum leaps. That's why I'm always able to go from 0 to 100 and 100 to 1,000 and 1,000 to 1,000,000, because I have understood that the only ceiling I need to break through is my self-imposed ceiling, not the one that so and so created. I really don't care. I really don't care about what so and so is doing out there on the other side of the pond or my next door neighbor. If you're not competing and defeating yourself, then you're not on my level, unfortunately. Even if you are faster, stronger, blah, 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 the fact is that you got there by competing against others, so you are still a weakling. You didn't see it that way, did you? Well, I do. Because this envious, jealousy, BS that we see amongst each other, especially us brothers, is pathetic, You wouldn't feel this way if you knew that you were defeating yourself. You wouldn't feel like you needed to compete against others if you were already defeating yourself. If you're already ahead of the game by relinquishing your sin, by foregoing your carnal needs, which is, again, what I'm talking about, By turning on your brain and having some real thoughts that come from within. And even better when they come from above, But you're not gonna tap into the sacred frequencies and divine messages if you're constantly depleting yourself of what creates babies. I mean, think about it. You can make a baby in 9 months with whatever it's inside here in your genitals. You have the power to thunderbolt a creature that's like you into this world. But you're leaving it all over the place, to say the least. And and that's just one facet of this sexual degradation that's happening with both men and women, because women are the ones that are getting plowed in these videos, right? They're the ones that are getting fucking spat on, talk shit to, shalala shalala. But what about the strip clubs? What about the brothels? What about the prostitutes? What about, us men? We are giving them more than enough ammo to create their boss bitch fake reality. We're telling them, oh, you're so hot when you're naked. Oh, you're so good when you move like that. It's like, no, that's disgusting. I'm not against sex by all means. And I'm not an incel either. I'm not a virgin. I've been around the block, clearly. You know, I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and pleasuring a woman has never been an issue for me. But why would I pleasure a woman who's not even worthy to be in my presence? You're not even worthy to hear my words. You're not even worthy to feel my energy, to feel the warmth of my skin, the fire in my heart. So why would I even take you out on a date? Much less take you to bed. Explain that to me. You men are just so thirsty to get your penis dipped into some nasty hoe that that you are expediting either your cardinal needs to pornography or to a very lowly creature that you call your girlfriend or whatever, or your side piece, which is another issue that I see a lot of times. You guys need to drop this whole I need 20 girlfriends to be accepted as a whatever. There's nothing alpha about that. What good does it do you to have so many women if you can't even hold down one? I only want, excuse me, let me say this clearly. I only want one woman, and I already picked her out, and I already know who she is, and I already, and if it's not her, and if it cannot be her, then she's gonna condemn me to be a sinner, for reals. Like it's so cruel to say it like this, but it's true. I don't want anybody else. In fact, I don't even want her unless I have everything else that I want. Because you guys are foregoing your destiny. You guys are letting go of your gift and your divinity in order to be with a woman. Guys, women don't like that shit. Trust me. Women might be upset at the fact that you're saying no to her to go to war, or that you're saying no to her to start a company, or that you broke up with her because she's asking too much of your time and you're busy. They might be as irritated as hell because they cannot hold you down like they do the rest of the bums. But what I can tell you is that at the very freaking least, they respect you. And that goes a long way for a woman nowadays. Trust me. A woman respecting a man in this day and age is unheard of. But that's because you guys are not doing respectable things. You guys are degenerates. You guys are lowly creatures, worms, cockroaches that deserve to be stepped on, crushed by this guy. Um, so yeah, that's unequivocally not happening at all. And what you guys decide to do, on the contrary, is, oh yeah, babe, I really, my dream is to be a Marine in the Marine Corps or a Navy SEAL, but I'll be traveling and I'll be away from you. I love you so much. I'm gonna forego my dream of being so and so I can be your little dog, so I can be your little bitch. Wow, what a bargain! She's probably looking at you like, no, I don't want you to be my little lost puppy. I don't want you to be my loyal servant, my slave. I actually want you to tell me to fuck off because you're gonna go to war. That that makes me turned on. That makes me. Oh, I wanna. Oh, that really gets me going. That's what women are thinking, but they would never say it out loud. Because their egos are far too powerful. Like they get in the way of logic and reality, which is, oh, okay, you want to stay, and that relationship at most is gonna last 6 months after the fact. After you've done your sacrifice, after you've let go of yourself, after you have essentially become effeminate and just straight up, okay, babe, a bitch. After all that has happened, only then will she be like, okay, yeah, you need to go. I It was fun while it lasted, but now it's just pathetic. I need a man. I need a real man who's gonna. Well, I'll let women speak for themselves. I'm speaking to you guys though. I'm speaking to you guys. Rise up. Wash your face. Look in the mirror and say, no more. No more alcohol. No more pornography. No more degeneracy. No more wasting time. Start your company. Join the military. Go on that first jog. Do your first set of push-ups. Sign up to the gym. I mean, guys, do I really need to like spell it out for you guys? I'm giving you guys a spiritual game. I don't know how to pick up girls. If you guys wanna figure out how to pick up girls, then you guys are in the wrong place, and you guys are thinking in the wrong terms too, as I've discussed previously. What you guys want is to develop yourselves to be a beacon of light, and conversely, you will also become like a net. Think about it like this: you're fishing for a woman, and you're just casting your hook. You you might get one once in a while, but when you become a net, all the females start flocking towards you, and you just pick up everything up, and you get to choose. You get to choose from the bulk. And granted, I think choice in and of itself is it's a fallacy. You don't have as much choice as you think you do. And it's not settling either. It's about following this, allowing things to unfold and unravel adequately and properly. You have to be discerning, of course. Especially if you're a successful man. I've been lucky enough to go through a lot of these famous people crisis without being famous. So I'm not in People's Magazine or in CNN making a fool of myself. But I've definitely made a fool of myself with women, with drugs, alcohol, sometimes with all three put together, and it's been a mess. So I'm so glad that I've never reached a high level of attention or fame and glory, because at this point in my life, I don't even think I'm ready for that. And God is very, very merciful, even on that. He forestalls, and He waits for you to be ready for the blessings. I know I will be massively huge in this space, but even bigger in the boxing world. Trust me, guys. I am gonna be talked about for generations to come. My children's children are gonna have to explain who their great grandfather or their grandfather was, because I am just gonna be that enigmatic. I am just gonna be that guy. So it's not even prophetic at this point. It's a matter of a fact. I know things without knowing them. I just feel it in my heart. So when I say I've picked this woman and this is who I want, it's because I feel it in my heart. I don't want anybody else. Like I've traveled around the world. I've gone around the country, and I've seen nothing but beauty upon beauty. Like, you females embody the most graceful thing that could possibly come to pass, which is your femininity. God really, really knocked it out of the park with you guys. I think He was very proud of His work here, but He was like, I could do better. I could do way better with the women, and He did. Um, and yet I'm not greedy. I don't need to have Stacy and Lindsay sleeping in the same bed with me, knowing damn well that they're jealous of each other, and that if they don't kill each other, they're gonna try to kill me. I mean, you could look at John McAfee's history and his debauchery and degeneracy to understand that it doesn't matter how powerful you are, doesn't matter how smart you are, doesn't matter how paranoid you are. If you don't have God first and everything in order, these women are nothing but vipers. These women will kill you. These women will take you down. I've always come to this moral compass, which is the right woman will take you to the top, and the wrong woman will send you straight to hell. Do what you want with that. But I'm only talking about one woman. Just imagine having a plethora of these vipers, these venomous bitches I'd be feeling very, very much in danger. I'd be feeling very inadequate to live a life of happiness and joy if I know for a fact that I'm hurting their feelings. You don't get away with hurting a woman's feelings unscathed. I actually have scars. I mean, I have scars to back everything up, you know. So I've stepped on some females' toes before, and it did not end well for me, you know. So it again, it's just microcosm on top of microcosm, dimensions on top of dimensions, universes colliding with other universes. So if me, the vagabond, struggles with this situation, just imagine if me, the billionaire, monarch, um, legend, boxing legend at that. Just imagine that guy, what he's gonna have to struggle by having supermodels in his house, by having strippers in his bed, by inviting porn stars over to have a few drinks and party. Imagine what that would do to me. It wouldn't be a good look to begin with. You know, I'm not trying to be a role model. None of that. Don't ever label me as somebody that you want to follow, because I will always fall short of the mark. I just know that there's another way to do things. I just know things. Again, I know things. I know what still hasn't come to pass. That's why I do think that I'm more of a prophet than a king, you know? I'm more of an oracle than a monarch, which makes me even more powerful, which makes me even more royal in spirit, because I got magic. I got some real powerful magic, and the name of that magic is Yeshua HaMashiach, the Christ, the Savior, the King of Kings. Simple, right? If Jesus Christ with me, Jesus of Nazareth with me, then who against me? Tell me who is greater than he, and I'll rebuke you in the name and the blood of the Lamb. You can't, and you won't. Just as you can't and you won't stand against me. So join me. Join this crusade of enlightenment, of empowerment. Join me, please. I need you guys. I want you guys. You guys are my brothers, of course. The weak will be weak, but some of you guys are just confused. Some of you guys have been manipulated. Some of you guys have been subjugated to a dark prison of lust, hate, and anger. Enough of that. Feel my love through this podcast, through this screen. Look at me. Look into my eyes. I love you. You females too. I'm here to embolden your man, your brother, your father, so that he can protect you, so that he can hug you and be that fortress that you need, that you needed all along. I was trying to allude to something very critical here about choosing your woman and everything, you know. And here's the sad part of it all. I know what I know and I want what I want, but I don't know what you don't know and I don't know what you want. So it could very well be a situation where I have to submit myself to priesthood almost, you know, because I don't want marriage if it's not with her. I don't want children if it's not with her. I don't want a union with another woman if it's not with her. I'm devoted to you. I'm all about you even now. And the funny thing is I don't know you. You don't know me. But in my heart of hearts, I just feel like our paths are destined to cross at some point. Maybe I'm just being a hopeless romantic. Maybe I'm being a spoiled brat by wanting what I want, you know? But think about it, guys. I am teaching you guys to architect your life, to create it exactly as you wish it to be, not as the government or the evil oligarchs want it to be. You're living exactly how they want you to. Submitted to the darkness, uh, slave to the lust, and degraded by the poison, alcohol, cigarettes, you name it. There's something for you, and it's still equally as poisonous and vile. Look, guys, I'm telling you guys to be faithful. I'm teaching you guys something very important. Loyalty is royalty. You want to be called king? You better stay faithful. And the first person you need to be faithful to is to your Lord and your Father in heaven. The second person is your wife, your woman. First of all, don't be fucking dipping your pen in company ink. Just because the secretary is like an easy target, or the nanny, or whatever, don't do it, guys. That young woman is not for you, it's for another young man. You have your wife at home waiting for you with a hot dinner, and the children are always happy to see you. Like, why would you do this to them? Don't be that guy, you know? I'm faithful to the idea of her. I am loyal to the spirit of her. I don't need to touch her. I don't need to kiss her. I don't need to lay with her. I don't even need to know you. That's who I am as a person, you know. I'll go to the ends of the world for my people. And if I choose you, it's because I see something that others just don't get it, you know. I see things also. I don't just know, I see, and perhaps that's why I know, because I have eyes that see and ears that hear. So I'm able to put two and two together, and I'm able to connect dots, you know. Guys, if I'm willing and able to be faithful to somebody who I don't even know, who I don't even interact with, how can you betray your wife? How can you betray your girlfriend? Forget about the females though. How can you betray your brother? You infidel, you bastard. How can you do this to us? You're putting a bad name to masculinity and manhood. So, I don't advocate for adultery. I don't condone it. And in fact, I rebuke it in the name of the Lord. My Lord Christ will embolden you to stay faithful. If you ask him to, though. He ain't going to do nothing for you if you don't ask him. Asking you shall receive. I think that's biblical. I've certainly asked my fair share of blessings, and I'm not shy about it. You know, I want that particular woman. I want that particular car. I want to live in this particular house, and I want to earn this particular amount of money without doing any kind of slavish work. I want to be I'm a king. Why the fudge cake balls am I going to be washing dishes, huh? That's another conversation for another day, honestly, because anything that's of the flesh, anything that's in this 3D realm is not important. It's a lie, you know. This is a holographic reality, guys. This is just a simulation, and God is watching you. It's very easy. It's very easy to stay faithful when everything's going good, right? It's very easy to stay divine when you're in paradise. Okay, what about here? You professed, you confessed, you pledged your allegiance to the Lord in heaven, but when you came down here, you forgot about your promise. In fact, you started making oaths to Satan himself. The devil has you locked up in a contractual agreement for your soul just because you wanted a little bit of tail, just because you wanted a little bit of coin. None of that matters. I mean, it's certainly the focal point of the podcast, but it doesn't matter in the end. Once you die, You and I will be reduced to the same elements, spirits. And at that point, it doesn't matter if I became king or if you stayed a degenerate. Judgment day will be upon us. And being king or being charitable or even being a vile serpent like you is not going to make a difference in the eyes of the Lord. Only one thing: did you confess, did you profess in my name? And did you not believe, not have faith, but did you know about who I was? You see, I don't believe in God. I know for certainty that God is real, and not just any God, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. I cannot make it any more clear than this, guys. If you want to believe me or not, that's fine. You guys are open. You guys have a wide open road in which you guys could take any path you want. But this is a crossroad. If you're here in this podcast, you're at a crossroads. Either you follow me and and reach glory, not just in heaven, but here on earth, because that's what's happening now, guys. God's gonna raise up his sons, his excuse me. God's gonna raise up his sons and his daughters to the utmost glory, almost like a real superstar. See, what Hollywood and the music industry does, that's what God's going to do for us. He's going to put you on a pedestal. He's going to put you on a throne so that others can see not your glory, but his righteousness, his glory, his light. And I'll be crowned with the Holy Spirit and for everyone to see my light. And furthermore, to understand that it comes from the Lord. So toil all you want, fight all you want. Your demons are not gonna leave you like that. They like it. They like your struggle. They like your withered spirit. They like your anger. They like your fear. They like your lust. They feed off of it. It's almost like an euphoric drug for them. You know, I mean, we can get into the satanic rituals and why they do what they do in order to summon demons. They have to put you in a state of pain, suffering, fear, and just total abomination, like demonic abomination, has to occur by man to man in order for that person to be completely psychologically disassociated. They go to their happy place, and then boom, the demon arises and infects that poor individual. Because I say poor because they're usually children, believe it or not. It's usually children going through these rituals. And that's why they end up how they end up. You've seen it, Nickelodeon stars, movie stars, they look cutesy smoochy when they're in the silver screen, and then 20 years down the line, they're crack addicts. They're on the streets of Hollywood Boulevard begging. That's the devil at work. That's soulless individuals that have no direction no more. And granted, I don't know what to do about that myself. I'm not that wise, but I certainly will be at some point. All I can say is you don't get anything less than what you deserve. And so become worthy, guys. You know, I fought this battle yesterday. This evil, lust infested battle with principalities and the most vile of creatures and demonic entities. You know, like these creatures, guys, they're not just reptilians. I call myself the Lizard King for a reason, guys. It's very, 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 very important for you guys to know that I'm not giving just an homage to the first Lizard King, which was the American poet. I embody something completely different than him. He was of the lizards, you know, and I am not. I am battling the lizards. That's why I am king over them, because I defeat them. I am above them. They are my subjects. They are under my control. But these are low level creatures. What I'm facing is some high and mighty principalities. And you know, when you're in darkness, meaning meditation, um, you know, I got rid of most of the pornographic stuff that was flooding my mind, but then it remained, you know, the creature themselves are disgusting and ugly. I am able to see them in my mind. And it's scary, guys. It's scary. They're not pretty. They're disgusting. They're ugly and they're fear inducing. Their anatomy is just crazy. And they call themselves Legion because they're many. It's not just one, it's not just two, it's a bunch of them, guys. And when you open up the XXX websites again, you are opening the door to all of them. Period. When you sin, you're opening doors that will not be shut on their own. So if you've already gone through all of this debauchery and degeneracy, the least you can do is, hey, I cannot do nothing about the matter anymore. I've already made a mess of this. So certainly it's not going to be me who's going to be fixing it. You need a higher power. Ask your Lord. Ask your King, Yeshua of Nazareth, to throw you a bone. To give you one night of peace so you know what it is. You don't know what it is. That's why you keep going back to it. Boom, boom, boom. I battled this. And I knew that if I didn't battle it last night, I was going to be defeated today. And that was not going to happen. Because I have something to say. I have something to do. I'm here to tell you, you have something to say. You have something to do. So rise up from the shadows. Rise up from the darkness and be a beacon of light, guys. Don't be selfish. Don't be an animal just pleasure seeking. Be more. Be a man. There's nothing greater in this. There's nothing more beautiful than the woman. I've already said this once or twice. But there's nothing greater than being a man. The power that you feel, the strength, the will to conquer. That's a man's spirit right there, guys. And all of you guys are just sheep. You guys have been demoralized, disassociated from your own spirit. Goes without saying, you guys don't even know the Spirit of God. But once you do, guys, everything will fall into place. And if it doesn't, it's because everything has been out of place for so long that God is just going to come here and put everything in order by destroying it first, because you created your own little Babylon. Oh, you evil Babylonian. Babylon still stands. And it's the hell infecting your health, your heart, your mind, your spirit. Stop building the new Babylon, guys. Stop already. Stop being an architect and a slave and a construction worker for the devil himself. Stop already. I'm teaching you guys to cleanse the mental space. Because again, the mental space is where the fight happens. The mental space is where everything begins. So once you defeat, all you need to do is defeat once the evil one, so you can have space and time to start building not Babylon but your own paradise. What I do, guys, is I start imagining her, my future wife, my queen. And sure, we children, but then I get very detailed with my house, with the decor, with my bed, with the clock, my alarm clock, because I'm gonna be waking up early, my shower, my bathtub. I mean, I'm getting down to the nuts and bolts here, guys, and the color of my whip, the color of my woman's car, how many boxing gloves I'm gonna be having, the size of my boxing gym, the amount of money that my promotion is gonna be generating. I mean, I'm getting very, very specific and detailed because I'm not living in vagueness. I'm not living in delusion land. I'm architecting. I am building my life from scratch. I am responsible for this, not you, not my mother. What are you, a little bitch? Turn off the lights. Close your eyes and let the light illuminate your path. Once the path is clear, everything else will fall into place. Trust me. Trust me, it will. And I'm so glad, guys. I'm so happy. I feel accomplished, you know. I really really wanted to let go of my masculinity. I really wanted to succumb to temptation. I wanted to watch porn. And I didn't, guys. And you can see it in my eyes. It's been a while since I've dabbled. It's been a while since I've dipped my toe into that cesspool of shit where all the pigs, the swine, and the vermin like to bathe in, but not me. I like to be clean. I like to be alone. I like to be in my own domain. I mean, you dip your toe into that pool, and you're getting contaminated by everyone and everything. Not me. Not me. And I say this with conviction, but I also want to preface this by saying you don't get to be an architect. You don't get to be a mason of the universe if you're in sin, if you're a degenerate. Because you don't have energy, you don't have magic, you don't have authority in this realm. You want to have magic? Go to Christ. You want to have authority? Stop sinning. And you want to be called a grand master architect? Get to work. Not out here, not out there, in here. Work hard. It's a one-man company. It's a one-man army in there. But the funny thing is that I'm able to create castles. I'm able to create universes. I'm able to create star systems. I'm able to create the life as immaculate and full of opulence as I choose it to be, thanks to the fact that my mental power is from the Lord. So with that, guys, I leave you with this very brief message, which is very very much on character. It is always darkest before dawn. I'm sure you heard that before. Rise. Speak, and you will be heard. Act, and it will be done. Think, as above, so below. Thank you, everybody. This was the Lizard Kings official podcast, The Word Poet Show. Thank you. Come again.
I'm the Lizard King. I can do anything.
We come in peace, the warrior poet show.
Heal with the warrior poet, spitting out the facts, artillery loaded, perfecting our craft, yeah you know we devoted. I know what I want, so I'm staying focused. You hitting up my line, it's on do not disturb. Don't need a fool who can't even back up his words. Had to burn bridges and take different roads. You might think I'm toxic, but homie, I got goals.